Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum ayyuha at-tullab. Good day, good evening. I hope your prayer will be accepted by Allah, inshallah. In today's session, we start a new chapter. It's very important. We start new chapter about it's about design the network based on the security. And it's the most important chapter in the whole course, the whole course that I teach you. This is a very important part, and it's I advise all of you that you listen carefully, try to understand. It's very important. So let me open the Google. Asir, you talk to Ali, okay? If there was any problem regarding the homework or whatever it is, you tell Ali. He will send me through the email, and I will send the English version as well. I can also write the your assignments in English. It's okay, but just give it to Ali that it will be the communication will be through only one person, not all of you, because you are, in this class you are 65 people. It's impossible for me to communicate by you one by one using the Telegram or WhatsApp. Okay, it is impossible. You just tell Ali, and he will send me. I will just send the English version, and he will put in the group. Okay? Okay, inshallah, let's start our lecture regarding the assignments or whatever. Any question you have, you just forward to Ali. He will send me email. I will reply him. Okay, so we said that this section is about the design. I think Arabic is we call it at-tasmim, and here in this figure we say that this one is very important. Okay, the design in the network is very important, because if your design is not tasmimot shabakat, yes, thank you, Rian. If you don't pay attention to the design, whatever the lock and the security and everything which you assign here, people will use this road and this road to pass your security. So we say that design is one of the necessities of the network. It's zaruriyat of the shabaki. The first part of the design is because it's about the risk, and you have similar course on risk. I can skip this part, so I will skip risk, threat, exposure, and vulnerability and consequences, and I start from design for security. So from 1 to 10, it's okay, Saleh. 1 to 10 slides, I will write it here for you. Slides 1 to 10 are not exam. Slide 1 to 10 are not in the exam for the design for this part, and we start from the slide number 10. Design for security is the ultimate prevention. It's the final thing that we want to do. It's the last thing that we want to do. If the design is not if the security is not part of the design, or if you do not design for security, then you will have a problem fundamentally patching your system. So first you should be aware of the risks, like what are the risks? Risks like attacks, like viruses, like spoofing, like sniffing, and so far and so on. Okay, so the first, before we talk about design, we should be aware of risk, and we should be aware of, we have information about the security, and then we should have accepted security policy. Accepted security policy, I've already discussed it with you. It's siyasat, okay, siyasat for the organization, that it comes from شرکت. شرکت should provide you with security policies. Okay, يجب أن توفر لك شركة سياسة الأمان. Okay, something like that. This is the sentence. The company should provide you with security policies, and you only implement it. You only implement. أنت فقط تنفذ. Okay. As a IT man or security professional, you just implement the security policies. You never advise or plan security policies. Security policies should come from the company, or they should come from شرکت. So, accepted security policy, the goal of the design widely accepted by participants, including the users. Also, the users of the system, or the end users of the system, operators, and then other people who work with the system, there should be, we call it on board. Okay, they should start working with the system, or they should be on board with the security system, because if they are not on board, they will find a way to escape, or usually we say they will find a solution for cheating. If the policy does not meet the requirements of the users, they will do such a things. Okay, so all the systems should have been designed for security, and not only the network. For designing for the security, or for a design based on the security, we have 3 stages or 3 levels. The first stage is network segmentation. I will write it in the notes. So the first thing is network segmentation. The second phase is perimeter defense. And the second one is network containment. Walaikum assalam. So this is phase 1, this is phase 1, this is phase 2, and this is phase 3, network containment. These are the 3 parts for the designing for the security. I will go to board to explain each of the parts. Share a whiteboard. Consider this is the big area. Okay, consider this is area. Okay, like ours, we say ours, and then this is your land. This is one area and this is your land. The first thing that we say, or the first phase that we must work on or we start doing is network segmentation. Is that you should do something to separate your land from the area or from the other lands in the area. Consider I will draw the same land. Yes, Sophie, yes, exactly same land. Try to draw it 3D. So you start, for example, if this is your land, you start building the walls. So you will put here walls, you put here, you will put here walls. Okay, you start making walls to separate your network from other networks by defining the different zones or dividing your network into different parts with different barriers like walls. We will do the same thing with the network. In the network, for separation, usually we use air gap, or we use firewall, or we use router, or we use NAT server, or we use proxy, or we use VLAN, and did I wrote routers? Yes, VLAN and so far, and IDS. We use these things to separate, for example, two networks, or to divide, for example, one LAN. Okay, so you have one network, you divide it to LAN 1 and LAN 2. Okay, it's like that. We use one of these methods to separate your land from other lands or your network from other networks. This is the concept of segmentation. With no segmentation, everything will be in the same network, and it's not good based on the security. According to the security, is not good. The second one is perimeter defense. Perimeter defense means that when you create or when you build these walls, for example, you should put something like door or bulb. Okay, yeah. I didn't get what is not good. You see, the first I'm talking about the type of segmentation. First, I will explain for you. Then I will go to explain it on the network level on the systems. Okay. So I don't know what you mean, Ali, by what is not good. Oh yes, I remember. It's not that good that you put everything together. Put or connect all to each other, or put all the networks together as one. This is not good. Put all the network. You should separate the networks into, for example, as an example here, you divide different lands, okay, for different peoples into different sections. We do something like this with the network. Okay, we divide it. For example, we divide one LAN to two LANs, or one network to two networks. And the output is something that I draw here in this figure. Okay, so the first thing is that you separate your network. It's a segmentation. Then you put walls. Okay, you separate your LAN or network, you put walls. And the third layer, or the third phase that you should do, is that network containment. Yes, you must have segmentation, exactly, Ali. And you must have network, you must be careful about network containment. You pay attention to network containment. What is inside the network, or what will happen inside the network? You see, it's very difficult Yes, exactly. احتوا شبکه محتوا. Yes, it's difficult to say what is inside and what is outside. For example, you see the question is, what is inside the land, or my land, what is outside the land. Now, for example, if I put something like X, this is inside or outside? This is outside. What about this one? Inside. Okay, if you put something here, again outside. But why we say it's difficult? Sometimes the same thing happens in the network. You see, sometimes if you have a pole in your land and go up, okay, go up, for example, I don't know, if we say 1 meter to 1000 kilometers. Okay, and then you put a sign here. What about this one? Is it inside or outside? You see something like this, it's hard to say. You can also say inside, or you can say outside. For example, when an airplane passes through here, for example, when an airplane passes through here, you cannot say, okay, it's the airplane entered my land, and from this side it went out of my land or exited my land. It's difficult to talk about this. So you see, when you look at these walls, or you look at the door, you say, okay, it's easy to divide the network. But sometimes some places like this, it's difficult to decide whether it is inside or it is outside. And that's when we say, okay, you should think about network containment, or as your friend said, you should think about محتوا. Okay, محتوا, what is part of your network and what is not part of the network. We will do the same thing with the uh, network. We divide it into different segments. Okay, now this was a real life example. After this, I will use a network example. You see, for example, you consider you have a network for university. Okay, you can divide this network to facility network, and then office network, and then the students network, and then internet. You see, for university you can divide it to facility, office, students, and internet. At the same time, for university you can also divide the network like this. Data center, and then I call this network, and then internet. This is another example. Again, I can divide university based on this what Cisco advises. For example, I can have core, I can have distribution, I can have access. This is another way. It's not important which one you use. It depends on you whether you divide university or you into zones using this method or using this method or using this method. It's not important which one you use. It's important that you divide your network into different segments and you do the segmentation. And after you divide the network, so we call it multi-layer design. We call it متعدد الطبقات. Okay, متعدد الطبقات. We call it multi-layer design, and between each of them we use the perimeter defense, something like, for example, something like firewall to divide them. And for each of them, because we want to have multi-layer design, for each section we call it segment or section. Jadar Nari, yes, thank you. Each section should be divided into 3 zones. Each section should be divided in 3 zones. So I will draw 3 zones. For example, I take the first one. This is the first zone. This This is the second zone, and this is the third zone. Okay, for example, for students, or for facilities, or for office. Okay, the first part of the zone we call it inside. Okay, we also use the name intranet or local or LAN or Ethernet or whatever it is. Another zone which is very important from security aspect is DMZ. Okay, DMZ is منزوعة السلاح. Okay, demilitarized zone, or we in Farsi we call منطقه صفر. Okay, in Farsi we call منطقه صفر. In English, demilitarized demilitarized zone. Okay, demilitarized zone. So the first part is, or the first layer is inside, the second part is DMZ, and the third part is outside. So this is for the first layer. For example, consider just let me see, Hossein, the security penetration and strengthen the security wall of the multiple designs. Multi layers, yes, one design with multi layers, yes, Hossein. Okay, so you see, I just used the first example. I used the first example and I deleted the rest. Okay, I used the first example to have all the boards to myself. So this is the first layer. The first layer here, it was facility layer. Then we will go to the second layer, which is office layer. Again, for office you should have three different zones, but here you start from the outside of the previous networks. I should make them smaller so I can fit all of them in one figure. Okay, this is the first zone. We add the second zone to the beginning of the first zone. Yes, exactly, Ali. But first we design the network, then we talk about firewall. We should add firewalls here on the edges. We need firewall. Okay, so this is the second zone, which is office. The third zone is a students network. Again, for a students network you should have three different zones. So this is student zone, and for the internet we do not divide internet because it's not part of our network, so it's outside the networks, and that's the internet. So this is the basically this is the design of what we want to have. The first one is, we call it in here, this is the facility network. The second one is this is office network, and this is a network for students to work with the internet, and this is internet. Okay, so this is the layer design. Here is inside, here is DMZ, this is inside, here is DMZ for the facility, and this is the outside for the facility network. Internet is one section is free. Yes, it's a if your network is connected to the internet, it's always the last layer. It's always the last layer. Okay, so here is again DMZ for office, and here is DMZ for the students network. Something which is important is that I will draw it with another line. The outside of one network is exactly inside the other one. It's a layered design. So the outside of office network is actually inside of the student network. Now if I ask you based on this design, you see in this design we had multiply 4 sections. In this design we had 4 sections. Now if I ask you how many zones, just count the zone and type it. How many zones we have here? It consists of 3 layers, is correct, Hossein. But how many zones? No, we have 3 layers. How many zones do we have? Or 4 layers, for example. 3 or 4 layers. How many zones do we have? No, not 4. 9, it's better, but it's not correct. It's better. It's 4 sections, but 7. Yes, thank you, Marve. Yes, it's correct. Marve is right. You see, we count the zone. First for the layers, this is the first layer. 1, 2, 3. We can say 1, 2, 3. We have 3 layers or 3 sections, or we can say 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 layers or 4 sections. This is the about layers. But I ask about the zones. Zones, you see, we count together. This is 1. Okay, this is 1, and this is 2. DMs of the facility network. This is 2. This is 3. 3 is outside of the facility and inside of the office. So this is 3. These 2 are 1, 3, and this is 4, and this is 5. Again, outside the office, inside the students, and this is 6 and 7. So the question I asked you, 4 layers and 7 zones, or zones, or we can say 3 layers and 7 zones. It's like that. Okay, so the zones are 7 in this design. And then the next thing we will ask how many. Now we want to separate the layers. We never divide internet, Ali. We never divide internet. So even if you want to consider the internet is the outside layer of students. Still it's 8. Still it's 8. Okay. Because internet is, I will show you. Let me first type this one. How many firewalls? You see, internet is here. This is internet. If you want to put the internet, you can even put it inside. Okay, this is the internet. We do not divide the internet because it's not our network. So again, if you even want to count the internet, this is 1, which is internet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Still 7. Okay. Yes, exactly, Rion. The overlapping is not that we calculate the overlapping as 1. It's obvious. You see, for example, consider a classroom. Okay, I use this example, or I can go back to the previous slide if I have it. Whiteboard 53, maybe this one. Okay, you see, consider this one. This figure. Consider this is classroom, okay? And this is faculty. Okay, and this is university. Just let me Hussein. It's like this. I will explain it here, Hussein. You see, consider that you are in the classroom. Okay, consider that you are in the classroom. When you come out of the classroom, where you are? Okay, when you come in this example, okay, where are you? You are outside of the classroom, but at the same time you are inside the faculty. Okay, so when you come out of the faculty, you are outside the faculty, you are inside the university. It's not that something I calculate as 2 or something like that. It's obvious, because outside the classroom is inside the faculty. It's layered, it's multi-layered. Outside the faculty is inside the university, and outside the, for example, university is inside the Mashhad. Okay, was it clear? Okay. Now you see, when you have this design, it's the same thing. Outside the facility network, this one, Ali, I will talk about it right now. Okay, we will talk about it when first we should design. You see, outside the facility is inside the office. Outside the office is inside the students, and outside the student is the internet. So again, I count. This is 1, this is 2, this is same thing. 3, 4, 5, this is same thing. 6, 7. Okay, and this is internet. This is exactly internet. So when we design, my next question was that how many firewalls we need to connect these zones? Answer this one. 1 no, 2 no, 7 no, just a little bit. 1, 2. Just count the number of firewalls that you want to put. Yes, exactly, Ehsan, thank you. You want to put to connect these networks. Also 3 also is the answer. Okay, but we will go to 3 later. We will talk about 3 later. You see that the places that you need firewalls, it's between the internet. Okay, it's between the internet and the students network. This is one firewall. And also you need another firewall between the DMZ of the student network and the student network. as well you need another firewall here. Which is outside the office and inside the student network. You need another firewall here between these two zones, outside the office and inside the office and DMZ. You need another firewall here, and you need another firewall here. Okay, how many? Six. We use expenses vs security. Okay, I wrote another thing is that it can be also 3 firewalls. That's different design. I will explain about, I will talk about this design right now. Between students and faculty, don't we need students and faculty? Facility, no, because facility is only connected to office. It's facility. And then you see, Hussein, firewall is like a door. If you do not put the door, it means that they are same and there are no walls. Yes, exactly, Riam. Between areas where there is contact between different areas. Exactly, yes, thank you, Marve. Yes. A student and office. Yes, we need. But it's the same thing, you see. These two, they are same thing. Even if you put here the firewall or you put here firewall, it's same thing. These two circles, they are same. Oh, I should explain it, Ali, I should explain it again here, because the questions that you ask, they are obvious, but again you ask the same question. Not you, all of you. Just listen to this one. Again. You see, this is classroom, okay? And this is the building of the faculty, and this is university. Everybody got this? For example, this is the map of the university. Okay, consider that this is the map of university. Okay, so it's obvious that if you just closed all of the classrooms with wall, there is no way out. Riam, we will explain 3 later. We will explain 3 later. Now I'm answering the other students' questions. Okay, we will explain 3 later. Just wait for a second. You see, when you have a classroom like this, consider that this is your classroom. Consider that this is your classroom, okay? If there is no wall, how come you want to come outside or go inside? You tell me. Is it possible? Okay. Alhamdulillah, you understood this one. Okay, the second thing that you ask, you say why you put wall between this one and that. For example, this is the building and this is the rest of the building. You say why you put firewall here. For sure you should put firewall here. If you do not put firewall, and if you don't put anything between these two and you remove the walls, what do you have? What is this that you see in this figure? Is this a room? No. So why you ask why you are using the walls, or why you separate the network? If I don't separate the network, so there is no classroom, there is no faculty, this is one area. The first thing that I taught you is that we should divide. Okay, this was the first thing I taught you. We should divide it to different segments. We should divide the network into different segments. This was the first thing you should learn. The second thing was that when we divide into different segments, we should consider connecting them. Perimeter defense, put a wall around them and connecting them, because at the doors we want to put something like, you know what is soldier, I think, or Jorat. Okay, Jondi or Jorat. Yes, we want to put a door here. Okay, and then we want to put something like a guard, okay, Jorat or Jondi here to protect this one from the other side. So it's obvious that, for example, when you are outside the classroom, you are inside the faculty, and it's obvious when you are outside the faculty, you are inside the university, and between them there should be door. Okay. Okay, inshallah. So you see, again, you have one network, it's university network. Okay, that's I explain again from the beginning. You have one network, it's a university network. If no firewall, no zone, no section, all of the network is one network, we say this design is wrong. Okay, this design is wrong. تو فارسی میگیم غلطه. Okay, we divide university into three different sections. We divide it to three different sections, one for cameras and switches, and then aircon systems, which is very important. Okay, one network for facilities. The second, it's not faculty, it's facility for like camera and aircon, switches and locks. Okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, this is the facility network, not faculty network. This is office network for the I don't know, those who works there, people who work there, clerks, and then I don't know, everybody, lecturers and everybody who work there. Okay, this is the network for students to connect to the internet. So we divided the university into three different networks. For each network, you see three different networks. For each network, we define three zones. The first zone is inside the network, the second zone is DMZ, and the third zone is something we call it outside. Because outside of each network is inside of another layer. So when you have outside this network, you are inside another layer. For example, when you are outside of the room, you are inside your home. Or when you are outside of your classroom, for sure you are inside the faculty. You are outside the faculty, you are inside the university. So these two circles, they are same. Okay, So they are exactly same. So this is one layer inside the university, inside the facility, DMZ, and outside the facility. At the same time, it is inside the office. So inside the office, DMZ, outside the office. At the same time, it's inside the students network. Inside the students network, DMZ, it's outside the students network, or at the same time it is internet. This is internet. Outside the student network is exactly internet. We have nothing to do with the internet. So with these layers, we have 7 zones. We have 3 sections or 3 layers, 7 zones, and now we have 6 firewalls. We place firewalls are like doors, okay, or they are like guard. Okay, we put 6 firewalls for these 7 zones. There is also, you see, I wrote here expenses vs security. We can use 6 firewalls or 3 firewalls. Now how we use 3 firewalls? You see, for the firewalls, all of the firewalls from the theoretical point of view, they themselves, they have 3 ports. Okay, you can use the firewall to do the segmentation, because firewall is for segmentation. Okay, they only use 3 ports, so you can use firewall, one firewall as a for implementing the DMZ. Okay, so this is like this, and this is like this, and like this. So you will put the first firewall here. I will fix the figure, the second one, the third one here. Now I will fix the figures and adjust where they should be. This is the first firewall. This is the second firewall. This is the third firewall. So you see, we use the firewall. Basically, the firewall has 3 ports. In the previous design, we used 2 ports of each firewall, inside and outside. But here, we use the firewall as a device that has 3 ports. So the third port is always DMZ. The third port, it always is DMZ, and this is also DMZ, and this is also DMZ. So this is internet. Okay, this is inside the student, and at the same time outside the office. This is office, and this is facilities network. So using this design, we can design the same network with 3 firewalls. As you see here, it's very important. You see, as you see here, we talk about expenses. Expenses in Arabic, budget or nafaqat. Nafaqat or budget, money. Okay, we talk about expenses and amniyah, or we just compare expenses vs security. If we design like this, you need more firewall, it's more expensive, and each firewall only connected into 2 networks. Okay, But if you design like this, it's less امنیه. Okay, امنیت کمتر. It's less security, but it's cheaper. This one is more expensive and more secure. This one is cheaper and less secure. These two designs. So you can use either 3 firewalls or 6 firewalls for designing this network. Okay. Okay, Alhamdulillah. So I just quickly review what we said here is that you see, just if you want to take a screenshot or take a print screen from this one, please do it. I will go back to the slides, just review, and then we finish the class. Okay. So I will go back to the slide. You see, when we want to design, we should do the network segmentation. Yes, exactly, Ibrahim. Thank you. Yes, exactly. But the correct way to do the design for security is to have multi-layered design. Okay, it's important to have multi-layered design. So we have network, we should do network segmentation. We should divide our network into different sections, and then perimeter defense is like to make wall for networks. We separate them, and then network containment, we should make sure that what is inside and what is outside, and put the firewall or IDS or router or NAT between different zones. So it says that design should be multi-layered security or multi-layered security architecture by dividing the network into different parts and put barrier between them. So you have different zones for different function, and or maybe based on the resources, or maybe based on the threats, and maybe based on the attacks, you divide the network. After that, you should take care of the you should take care of the area, like making the walls and putting the doors and adding the firewall to the network. And it is possible using the firewall and network intrusion detection system. And it's very important you make sure that what is inside and what is outside. In my example, what I meant is that in some network it is very difficult that you separate the network from other network, like in wireless network. For example, in wireless network, you don't know where is inside the network or where is outside the network because of the wireless range. So this is exactly the same thing that I already taught you. It's one for one factory. What is factory? In Arabic, I think it's factory. Okay. It's one factory, or it's industrial network. The first layer is for the robots and the devices and the computers and everything in the factory itself. And then the second layer is the office layer for the clerks to use and for the people in the factory. And the last layer is the internet. They use 2 firewalls, okay, and you see each firewall has 3 legs, 1, 2, 3, or 3 connection. This firewall also has 3 connection. They use our second design, so they have 3 legs. So they used one. They designed one network for facilities. There is one firewall and DMZ. Okay, then they use another network for office LAN, and again one DMZ, and this is the internet. This is the whole design. This was one example, and I explained the rest of the thing on the board. It's enough of to here. It's we will talk about firewalls and the gaps in the next session. If you have any question, you may ask. If no, the class has finished. Because it's already Ramadan, it's better that we have a shorter classes. So design until firewall. Okay. So any question? Hussein, I think for you still is online. For foreigners, it's still online. But my next class will be in the university. Thank you very much, Riam, and thank you for participating in the class and for those who are active in the class. Okay, thank you very much. Ali, regarding the homework, if you have questions or you have problem with the questions in Persian, because I wrote questions in Persian for you to be easy for you to understand in the exam. Okay, maybe in the exam the question is Persian. You send me the question, I will send you the explanation and the also and the question title and everything in English. I can do that for you. Okay, you send me the questions. In Persian, I will send you the explanation and everything in English. Russia for the exam is the university rule. I don't know, but if usually something that I do, I write the questions in Persian, and under that I also write the questions or part of it in English. If they allow, if the university allow, I will give you same Farsi and English. Yes, yes. Listen. For me, it's okay. English or Farsi is okay, Ali. It's not important. Saleh, for the time, you still have time. You can submit later. It's not important. You see, for the homeworks, you ask the same question again and again. You can, I told you, I advised you to submit as JPG, and because it's only a statistics, okay, for the first question. But if you want to submit it as a PDF, it's okay also, okay. If you want to write in English and Persian, it's also okay. And if you want to submit later than deadline, it is also okay. So what else? Okay, no problem. Yes, you can do that. The homeworks are easy because one is statistics and another one is, for example, encryption. And encryption, it takes you maximum 5 to 10 minutes to do. But if you need more time, I don't know for why you need more time, it's not important. But if you need more time, you can have more time. Searching the internet for finding for statistics, it takes you 2 or 3 minutes. 4 days is too much, but it's okay. If you want to submit later, it's okay. It's up to you. Send your questions to Ali, okay, and he will send me your question and your problems with homeworks in one email. I will reply him and he will put in the groups. So anything about the homeworks, he will put in the group.